Von Sinatra swing to Brando stage. Marilyn's grace to JFK's age. It's Johnny Russo, Hollywood's own. The Jeannie Raymond secrets are shown. Hollywood Godfather.
Welcome, everybody. It's time for another Hollywood Godfather podcast. First, I want to introduce my beautiful host, Jeannie Raymond.
Hello, everyone.
And I am so happy to have a friend, a true friend. We were both in the business. I was never at the level he ever, I didn't hit half of what he's done in Stardom. He's a legend. He's a legend.
You too.
Laughing.
You too. You're the legend.
No,
Godfather.
No.
God.
That is Tony Orlando, my good friend. Thank you for being with us. I appreciate it. It's going to be a great night.
Well, you know, Gianni, we have known each other a long time. And if you talk about legends, if anybody is in this town of Las Vegas, where I am right now, when you speak of your name, and it's not just during your Hollywood Godfather time, it's before that. When you had a speakeasy here in Las Vegas, you had the place, am I right? You had the place that everybody in this town, where you going tonight? I'm going to Gianni's. I'm going to... Your place was the place to go. So you know how long ago that was? Tell the people how long ago you and I know each other.
In 1980, that's 46 years ago.
Is that unbelievable? Where did it go, right? And you're stronger and your stories are more compelling than ever. And I want to tell your listeners and your people who watch your show, if you've ever had dinner, if you ever sat across the table with Gianni, you never finish your food because each story, as you pick up your fork and bring it to your mouth, you drop it and go, who? What? You know what? Who left you that home in New York, 1,600,000 square feet? Who? And it goes on and on and on. And you sit there going, hey, Gianni, my food's cold. I can't eat. Send it back. Because he tells you stories forever. It's good to see you, Gianni. It's good to see you.
Oh, thank you so much. I can't believe it took me this long to trace you down.
Yeah, thank you.
You know who I had to call? John Catsimatidis.
That's my Greek godfather. Now, John Catsimatidis, you know, is Greek. I'm half Greek. My father was Greek. So I'm Michael Anthony Orlando Catsimatidis. My papu, my grandfather, was Catsimatidis, and they changed it to Catsimatidis, pretty close to Catsimatidis, right? But John and I have become friends. Margot, his wife, they're incredible people, just incredible.
They come to my house often for dinner.
Oh, they're wonderful people. I
love John. Look what he's done in his life. My God.
Oh, my God.
He's changed.
Well, he owns...
in Brooklyn. He owns all those high rises.
I'll tell you a funny story about that. You know, I didn't know what high rises he owned, right, Johnny?
Right.
So I'm doing a benefit for John for the homeless. And I'm on stage and I said, you know, I was raised just a few blocks from here, 221 West 21st Street between 7th and 8th Avenue. And John goes, I own that building.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about now, right now, you know, it's crazy.
Oh, no, he owns so many buildings. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I love him.
Yeah.
And such
self-made, unbelievable man.
Yeah. Really, and good people. I like John Jr. too. John used to come see all my shows. He's such a nice kid. Their daughter too. They're all, it's a beautiful family.
Yeah,
they come to dinner. My dining room behind me, if you could see it, it sits 16
I can see it.
Without moving a chair.
Wow, what a beautiful place that is.
It's like a museum.
I'm sure your people know this that watch your show. Say it again for those of us like myself who didn't hear it. Who gave you this?
Frank Costello.
Frank Costello. Okay, so all of you kids out there, Frank Costello.
They think it's Abbott and Costello.
Like it wasn't Abbott and Costello. It was that Costello. And the truth of the matter is, tell them how many square feet that is in New York City.
Oh, it's not that big. It's 2,700 square feet, but it's right. I can't say where. I don't want anybody showing up.
Well,
No,
let me
but
tell you let me tell you what 2,700 square feet is in New York City. Okay,
it's huge.
figure. I'm guessing if I had to buy your place, let's be honest. Okay, could I buy your place for 5 million?
No, 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 no.
Could I buy your
No,
place
it's
for
12.
10 million?
It's 12 and
Could
up.
12 and up?
There's nothing on the block over 12 under 12. But you're
Well,
ready
man,
to. But
it's
Tony, you're not
beautiful.
going to believe what I'm about to tell you now. I walked in here 71 years ago.
What?
Yes, I was 12 years old.
Here we go with another Gianni story where you shake your head and you drop your fork. Go ahead, tell me again. I want to hear this. Go ahead.
Oh, I was selling ballpoint pens on the street. I just got out of Bellevue. I had polio. I was quarantined for 5 years. And when I
God.
came out, ballpoint pens just came out. So I was selling them downtown. Then I moved uptown. I took the train and I got off in front of the Sherry Netherlands on the other side of the street. I walked across the street. And this guy would come every morning between 11, 11:30, go in the Sherry Netherlands for 10 or 15 minutes and come back out. I didn't know what he was doing. I found out later he was getting a shoe shine. This story you're not going to believe. So now he kept, every time it came, he'd give me words of wisdom, give me $5, $10, like $100 bill in the 50s. Never took a
Of
pen.
course.
But before he left, he always grabbed me with a hug and made sure he touched my left shoulder. About 3 days after him doing that with me, he goes to his apartment one night, gets out of the car, and Chin Gigante shoots him in the head. And the bullet grazes him through his fedora, right along his right ear, and misses him. So his wife rushes to the hospital.
Like Trump, like the right ear.
Exactly. But what's so funny, they attributed it to me that I was giving him good luck. He touched me as for luck. She said, what have you been doing different? It's just that kid. That's how this all happened.
So the relationship continued on after that? Like he
After
became
that, then he asked me my name. I told him my real name. And he said, okay. He says, do you know where the Waldorf is? I said, I know where every public bathroom is. You meet me tomorrow at the Waldorf Astoria. I met him there. We sat down. I found out the guy he was crossing town with was his bodyguard. And when he knew my uncles at a Palermo. My uncles coincidentally sent his mother and father to America. And you can't
we're
make
going to
this
share some
up.
we're going to share some stories tonight, okay? You and I are going to share some of those ones that you don't know about me and some of the ones I just found out about
Oh,
you.
please, I would love it.
For instance, the OJ house on Rockingham,
Right.
right? I sold to OJ.
Well, you were in real estate?
No, I owned the house.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was my house.
Oh,
So I sold my house to OJ Simpson, the
that is
famous Rockingham house.
Rockingham.
I moved, right?
a
Yeah.
famous house. Okay.
So it sounds like a Gianni story, but it's true, right? So how did I sell that house and how did it come about? May I tell you that story?
Please.
So I'm walking down San Vicente. You know where that is in California, right? In LA.
Yeah.
Kardashian walking towards me, who's now passed away.
Oh, yeah, Robert.
Robert Kardashian. And I said, what are you doing here? You look great. What are you doing here? He says, I work for the juice now. I work for OJ. There's our office building right over there on San Vicente. Hey, by the way, Tony, he's looking for a house to buy in Brentwood. Do you know of any? I said, yeah, my house. So I end up selling him the house, the famous house, the O.J. Simpson Rockingham house.
Right.
And I move across the street. I buy the Doheny house, which is a big multi-million, 12,000 square feet this house was. Now, O.J.'s house was 6,000 square feet, to give you an idea. So these were in my hot days. So what did I buy a house across the street for? I bought it for $475,000. What did the person buy the house? What did OJ pay for his house? $600,000, which was less, actually 6,000 square feet less than the one I bought across the street. Okay. So to think that that house that I bought across the street, well, of course, the OJ house now is diminished. They knocked it down because too many tourists were coming to see it after the whole incident, right? Yeah. So the house I bought across the street for $475,000 in 1977, Gianni, this sounds like a Gianni story, okay? Just sold this week for $24 million. Now, my wife says, you know when to buy, you just don't know when to sell, okay? You're on the other end. You know when to sell, when to buy, and when to own, and when to keep it when they give it to you. But the truth is, that sounds like a Gianni story, but it's true. Yeah. Also, I want to share, and I'm dying to share this with you for years. You knew the Copacabana.
Hello. Yeah.
How well did you know the Copa?
Well, Costello owned it. I started going when I was 12.
Okay. Did you know Carmine Fava?
Of course. Are you kidding?
Carmine Fava was the maitre d'.
I know that.
He's my uncle.
What? Oh, he must have been so proud
Carmine Fava was my uncle. Jules Bedell was the owner.
Julie Bedell became the entertainment director of Sands Hotel.
And he owned the Copacabana. He was the owner. Okay.
Yeah,
so
he was on paper. Yep.
So in my time, I feel like in a way I was you, Gianni, because there I was in that circle that you always talk about.
But you're a star. I was not a star. Look at
you. No. I was only, at the time, what I'm talking about with my Uncle Carmine, I was only 15 years old.
Oh, wow. Oh, that is the John Russo story then. Wow.
Yeah, I was a kid.
Come back and star in that room. That's amazing.
Right. I was the last act to work in that room. And when I was 15, when I was 16, the first hit record came out, was written by Carole King, was called Halfway to Paradise. This sounds like Gianni's story. Why? Wait. I've never told you this. So now, who do I meet in the Copa before it closes? Crazy Joe Gallo.
Oh my God. He had his birthday there. It was his 40th birthday.
Tell everybody what happened. Tell everybody what happened to Crazy Joe Gallo.
Well, then it's so funny. He wanted to go for Chinese food on 17 hot. They got there, they cleaned it. So and guess who was the actor he was with?
I don't know.
The famous actor and his wife.
Hill Street Blues guy, right?
Who was it?
Oh, I can't think. I said Hill Street Blues, but I think I got the wrong series, but I know who you mean.
Anyway, they were close friends, two couples. So they leave Mott Street and they said, well, why don't we go over? We'll go to
Mott Street is Little Italy, everybody.
Yeah. We're going to go to Umberto's. Now, Joe Gallo never told, what's his name? His friend, the actor, I can't go there. So now somebody walks past Umberto's and sees Joe Gallo. He walks down to O'Neill Della Croco and says, Joe Gallo's in the neighborhood. He's, can I whack him? He's go do whatever you want. And he whacked him.
So Gianni, listen how crazy you and I in our lives have. You started all this stuff when you were 12. Yeah. I'm doing it around 14, 15 years old. Carmine Fava is the maitre d' Copacabana.
I know.
The place, right? I meet Crazy Joe Gallo, the guy you just described that got, as you say, whacked in Umberto's, right? So my Uncle Carmine says to me, as Crazy Joe walks up to me, because I had a hit record when I was 16 that he liked. It was called Halfway to Paradise. And he walks up to Tony and he says, Tony, come out to my house in Brooklyn with Carmine tonight. I make the best pasta. My Uncle Carmine pulls me to the side and said, now listen, We're going to have to go out there. We're going to go see Crazy Joe Gallo's house, but I don't want you walking next to him. I swear to you, that's the truth. Meaning, my Uncle Carmine must have known that there was a hit on him.
Yeah.
He was going to be hit, right? Or else, I don't want you walking next to him. Do you understand that, Tony?
Wow.
So now, does this not sound like a Gianni story? Come on, this does, right?
Definitely is.
Right.
No.
So now, listen, I go to Crazy Joe Gallo's house. Everybody, this is the truth, okay? He says to me, Tony, you want to meet Oscar? I said, Oscar? Sure, who's Oscar? He said, come on, you didn't tell your nephew who Oscar is? Come on, I said, please, Joe, please. So he says, come over here. He takes me over to a stair, opens the door, there's a staircase going down to a basement.
Cat was.
It was a lion, not a cat. It was a lion. And he goes,
lion
hey,
here.
he goes, somebody give me a steak. And he gives me a steak. And in front of this 16-year-old kid, he throws the steak down and out comes Oscar.
Oh my God.
Joe Gallo says to me, Tony, if you don't pay up your bills, you meet Oscar.
Whoa.
That's
you didn't
true.
Owe any money?
He was like a loan shark or I guess gamblers.
Yeah. But I'm saying, but you didn't owe him any money.
No, not me. He was saying that if a person doesn't own,
people.
If
they
it
see-
doesn't,
if it doesn't owe, they see and meet Oscar, and it scares the daylights out of them. So every time I hear you tell a story, I think to myself, hey, everybody, don't think he's lying. Because let me tell you something. I got a couple myself, and that was one of them. Is that not a Gianni story?
That
That's
definitely does, man. We got to be related somehow.
True story, though. True story. My
Oh,
Uncle
yeah.
Carl.
How could it be? How could it not be?
And I learned everything at the Copa, Gianni. My Uncle Carmine used to sneak me in, and Doug Gowdy was the guy who did the sound and lights. Now remember, everybody, the Copacabana only sat 300 people, 250 people,
Yeah.
tops, right? And there was like a soundboard and a light ball. And it was controlled by this guy, Doug Gowdy. And Doug Gowdy, because I was underage, used to make me sit underneath the console. And when the acts would come out, okay, Bobby Darin, Sammy, Nat King Cole, he'd tap me and I'd come up and I would watch them perform.
Wow.
That was my high schooling. It was amazing. Really amazing.
I mean, geez, how come you didn't write a book about all this?
You know what? It's funny you say that. People keep telling me, like they tell you should go out and do a storytelling show. So I started, I'm retired, but I figured once a month I'll go out to casinos, and I'm getting a lot of bookings, Tony Lando, the storyteller. And I'm going to tell these stories, everything from my experience with Carole King and my experience with the 8 presidents, and just like you, stories that people, say, did that really happen to you? Because, Gianni, I'm sure you feel this way. When you look back at your life retrospectively, don't you go, I did that?
Oh, I mean,
that really happened to me? What? Why? What is that? Wait a minute. I became friends with Frank Sinatra, and he used to yell at me all the time. I come off stage because we used to co-host shows in Vegas. He'd go, hey, Tony, pronounce your S's and cross your T's. I said, well, what do you mean, Frank? Well, you said tonight. It's not tonight. It's tonight. That's crossing your T's.
Grammatically, you wanted me to grammatically correct.
You wanted me to actually pronounce my words and and when you listen to Sinatra, Gianni, you hear how effortlessly he does that, and it's really amazing. And so one day he comes to me and says, "I tie a yellow ribbon." I said, "Wait a minute. Frank Sinatra recorded Tie a Yellow Ribbon around the old oak tree, my record?" I did. He said, "Come listen to it." And we're sitting there. Now remember, he's always knocking me about my pronunciation on songs, right, Gianni? And he goes, so I hear the record. At the very end, I hear, tie a yellow ribbon.
Yella.
Yellow. And I thought, oh, I'm going to get him now. Let me tell you, I'm going to get him. And I said, Mr. Sinatra, what do you mean by tie a yellow ribbon? Are you serious? Tie a yellow ribbon? You're going to
What a
yell at me
great
for my
story.
tonight? And you say yellow? He says, there's a reason I said tie a yellow ribbon. And when you hear it, you'll understand why. It wasn't a grammar thing. It
Oh,
wasn't a Hoboken thing. It wasn't a New York thing. I said, well, what was it, Frank? He said, the Duke, John Wayne himself,
lovely.
came to me and said, I made a movie called Yellow Ribbon, and I love that Tony song called Tie a Yellow Ribbon. Would you please go in and cut it for me, Frank? So
Oh, wow.
Sinatra goes in, cuts Yellow Ribbon, Gianni and Gina, goes in and says, for John Wayne, tie a yellow ribbon. I said, I forgive you. Oh, great God, I forgive you.
Yeah. What a great story. I love that. I'm a big John Wayne fan. That's
Since
hilarious.
Sinatra, it's crazy because when I was like, when I got to the polio ward, I got to the polio ward in 1949, August 7th. Now my birthday's coming up, and I was getting depressed. And the floor nurse was from the neighborhood. She was Carlo Gambino's niece. And unbeknownst to me, I didn't know who knew what, where. She brings me the night before my birthday a transistor radio. I still have it. It's in my act. I showed him this radio, how it changed my life. I was turning 7 the night before I turned the radio on. All I'm hearing about Sinatra. Sinatra and I were born December 12th.
Hmm.
So now I had nothing to live for. I'm watching 2,200 kids die in the last couple of months. And this guy inspired me. Same story in the same place. I see
Oh, my
him at the
God.
Copacabana.
Oh, my God.
I'm 12 years old, and I waited. He looked at me and Julie Bodell. He looked at Julie Bodell, and that's the first time I heard. He said, "No, that's Costello's boy."
Hmm.
Of course, Loretta and Costello never had kids, and after that time, he thought I was his good luck charm. He took care of me the rest of my life. But long story short, when I told him the story, I said, "You saved my life." He said, "How'd I do that?" And I tell him the story. It's a similar story with you.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
You know, Frank did something for me, Gianni, that would probably be every young performer's dream come true. And I'll tell you what happened. I was working for Clive Davis at CBS
I knew well, Clyde.
before the hits with
Right.
Dawn. He made me vice president of music division. I was there 4 years. I signed Barry Manilow. I represented great artists like James Taylor, and Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I had a great 4-year run with Clive. I cut Knock 3 Times in Candida as Dawn, but people didn't know who that was because I did it as a favor for a friend of mine. I didn't want to lose my job with Clive, so I kept my quiet, right? So the records are out there, hits, both of them selling between them, that was 6 million records, right?
Wow.
I get a call from Jilly. You know who Jilly is.
Hello.
Frank's
Yeah.
good friend. Now,
He's
here's how I know Jilly.
he's a linguist, right?
Yeah. My father, Leo Catsimatidis, my dad, was a furrier. And my dad made the fur coats for all of your friends, including Julie's friends, okay, and wives and so forth. Jilly calls me because he knows me. I know him through my dad, right? He says, hey, you got these 2 hit records out. I know you're not going out as the act. Would you like to meet Frank tonight? I said, oh my God, you kidding? No, tonight. So I go to meet at this event that Frank is hosting.
Where, Jilly's West?
No, he's hosting at the Friars Club.
Oh, the Friars. Okay.
It was honoring Gene Kelly, and the reason he asked me to come because my idol at that time as a kid was Gene Kelly. I loved Singing in the Rain. You know, it's what got me into wanting to be in show business. So he says, you're going to meet Gene Kelly tonight and Frank Sinatra, but you got to come with a tux. I run down the street, I swear, and I rent a tuxedo, you guys. And he said to me, no white hanky, red hanky only. If you notice, Dean, Frank, Sammy, always tux, red hanky. So
Right.
I don't even know why to this day, but I put a red hanky in it. I go to the Friars Club, and folks, this is what I see. I'm standing next to Jilly, and Frank is lining up the stars that are going to be sitting at the dais so that they sit properly when they finally walk to their proper seating. So he starts, and I'm watching Sinatra do this. Richard, Elizabeth, that's Richard Burton, Elizabeth Taylor, up front. Brando, behind him. Cagney, behind him. Sammy, will you stop talking to Rickles? Will you get behind them? And
Wow.
Natalie Wood, will you get on the, and Gregory Peck, every major super movie star you could name, lining up one after the next, Johnny. I'm standing in awe, and all of a sudden Sinatra says, Tony Orlando, follow me, which put me in front of all those people.
Wow.
Now I'm walking behind Sinatra, and I'm going, Mr. Sinatra, this is incredible. Why are you doing this? He said, shut up, I'll tell you later. Get up there. We get to the dais. He's Telly Savalas, go down and get Tony Orlando's card. It's at the end over there and bring it right behind me. You sit where Tony was going to sit. I can't believe what's going on. So now I'm sitting directly behind Frank Sinatra, and he's emceeing the show. So he sits down while Tony Bennett is doing a solo, and he sits down looking at me on the floor. He's looking up at me because it was a double dais, and he goes, the man can sing, can he? And I go, yeah, but why did you do this? This is unbelievable. He goes, shh, see you later. Okay. The show is over. I meet Gene Kelly. I am in awe of what's happened to me. I don't dare walk up to him and say, why did you do this again? I'm not going to do it. He finally turns to me and says, okay, Tony, now ask me. I said, Mr. Sinatra, why did you do this? This is incredible. He said, well, let me ask you a couple of questions. Who's hosting tonight? I said, you are, sir. Who is sitting directly behind me? I said, I am, sir. Who is in full view of who is sitting behind me?
Oh,
He
whoa.
said, the whole audience is, and I'm sitting behind. He says, okay, let me ask you a question. Who is the new kid on the block? I said, I am, sir. He said, well, welcome to show business. That's how we treat the new kid on the block.
Wow.
Wow.
That's amazing, man.
That was my entrance, Johnny, into show business.
Amazing, amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
You have
Yeah.
to write a book. I mean,
Well, you know, I'm going to write a book on stories. I'm going to do a storytelling book, and I am going to go on the road. I retired 2 years ago from doing concerts because I couldn't take the air travel.
yeah.
I had to bring, you know, my band out. It's expensive. The overhead's crazy. You come home with no money. You go through, you know, cancellations at the airport, you know, delays, this, that. I just said, that's it. After 64 years, and I'm not going to go through this.
Oh, yeah.
But I miss the people, Gianni.
Yeah.
And this is allowing me a chance to still go out and do a meet and greet and thank those people who made that dream come true. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to, without a question, share my stories with people, hopefully in the Gianni style.
Well, definitely better than my style. But what I was just going to tell you, and I'm going to put you in touch with these guys. This guy, Emin. This guy, Emin, is amazing. He does a show in Baku, Azerbaijan. It's on the Caspian Sea. It's the roster of people you will not believe. What he pays you, you will not believe. But you got to go.
Thank
I've
you.
been on the road. I went 2 years ago. I do every year, but without fail. I do 50, 60, 70 shows. That's
Right.
a lot of
You know,
shows.
I relate to you because every time I've heard you tell a story, I've never shared my stories with you.
Right.
As many times as we've been together, I never have. But whenever I hear you, I got a call from a congressman. I won't mention his name, but he's a good friend of mine. And this is recently.
Right.
It's on the phone. He says, Tony, I just got reading a book from Gianni Russo. Do you know him, Gianni Russo? I said, yeah. He said, have you ever in your life heard stories like this? I said, let me tell you about Gianni. The problem with Gianni is people think it's made up because the stories are so out there, so incredible. But I'm maybe the only guy in the world that knows it's true, not because I trust him, because I've lived that kind of life. And when I tell people stories that I tell them, they go, really? Come on. You knew Sinatra? Stop. You worked for 8 presidents. You slept at the White House and you had what? Come on. I know that feeling you go through because I go through it. But I've decided that 64 years is not going to stand behind my lips anymore. I'm going to share because I've been blessed. Here's a kid who never saw high school, Gianni. Born and raised in Hell's Kitchen, Midtown Manhattan. Here I have worked for 8 presidents, done movies, worked Broadway, had, hit record, had my own television show, 36 million people watching every week. How does that happen without God's blessings? How does that happen? And it's hard for people to believe, but I like to share that with them, even the non-believers. I like to look at their faces when they look at me and they go, I'm not sure, because I know it's true. I know I lived it. And then it comes to my mind, if it can happen to me, never seeing high school, born in New York City, having a dream, and then living it out like I have for 64 years in show business, Johnny, that's quite a run.
Yep, yep.
So you say, write a book. I want to do one better. I don't want to write the book. I want to share it face to face with people. I want to hug them. I want to thank them for the, if it wasn't for those people,
The opportunities, yeah.
these things wouldn't have happened to me.
No.
There'd be no hit records. There'd be no television shows. I want to go out there and thank them and then share with them this journey that I've been on that they blessed me with. It's a joy. Tell me if it's not the truth. When you tell a story and you see somebody's jaw drop and they smile and they are thrilled by that story, doesn't that just make you feel good? Like you've shared something?
Yeah, you could bring me to tears because, like you, I'm so appreciative. I mean, I don't need the money. I want to be out there. I want to share this because I'm thankful.
Exactly.
And I started a foundation, meaning yes, you can. Because like you, I never went to school.
And that was Sammy's book, Yes You Can. Did you know that?
No.
Sammy's biggest book was called Yes You Can. Oh, Yes I Can.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I do. Yeah. No,
I think it's just, but Sammy had the same, it's interesting because Sammy and you and me, and you knew Sammy, Sammy was a dreamer and grateful to everything that happened to him.
Oh my God, yeah, no. They were in
There was
stage
nobody more humble than him.
that. When they were doing 2 shows at the Sands Hotel and come to my place until 6 in the morning at Johnny Russo Stage Street in Vegas. Forget about it.
By the way, the idea of speakeasies has taken hold in Vegas. Right now, there's one called 1923 that literally is a gigantic hit. In fact, there's a group there called the Docksiders that won the award for the best shows, in Vegas. But it's just like your dream. It was like your dream. It was a speakeasy, and it's fun. It's wonderful. And every time I go in there to see them, I think of you and your place because you did your place. What, 80s?
Yeah,
In
the whole
1980s?
80s until I killed Lorenzo Morales.
And by the way, if anybody's watching and you see me, I'm watching, looking up this way instead of the camera, is because I see Johnny on the screen up on the wall. And it's when you want to talk to someone, it's only
polite to look at.
Forgive me for not talking to
Amazing.
your eyes because this is your show to see, but I'm talking to Johnny so that we can communicate. But so my apologies
old
not
school.
looking at you guys.
We're
No,
being
you're fine.
mannerly. I want to remind you that March 26th at Goodfellas Restaurant in Garfield, New Jersey, the phone number 973-478-4000. Make a reservation March 26th, Goodfellas Restaurant. We sold out the last time. We're going to sell out this time. And for my friends who want to bring their books, go on Amazon, order both books, bring them. I will sign them for you. We'll have Godfather memorabilia. Be there March 26th. Also, I'll be at Chill Out. For everybody in New Jersey, Chill Out is April 2nd, 3rd, and 4th at the Marriott in Hanover. It's Chill Out, April 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, Hanover Marriott in Winnipeg, New Jersey. All right? That's the Hanover Marriott, April 2nd to the 4th. I'll be there at Chill Out. Bring all your stuff. I'll sign it. Bring the books. Thank you. And I want to remind everybody out there, order Mafia Secrets, Hollywood Godfather. Bring them to all the shows I go to. It'll be my pleasure to sign them for you. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for watching Hollywood Godfather. See you next week. Thank you.
Well, and let me just ask you, I mean, you or just say coming from a fan's point of view, and like you said, I was born in 66. So you had already started on your career. How old were you when your career took off?
16.
16. How old were you when you sang Tie a Yellow Ribbon?
I was 27.
Because I have to tell you, and let me tell you the significance. I don't know. I didn't know about it before your song. Of course, I was a young kid, but boy, we sure sang that song. And when I heard you were coming on the show, I put all your tunes on and I laughed because I was like, I could sing every word to every song right along with you, which I thought was great.
Well, I thought you were, forgive me, but it was hard to believe you were born in the 60s, but yeah, you would know them because by the time, if you were born in, 73 was Yellow Ribbon. So if you're born in 66, you were not only able to hear those songs, but when we were on television, your age group, the Tony Orlando and Dawn show, was very much part of the family viewing.
Yeah. I saw, I mean, I'm looking back at some of the things you had guests. I did see a clip with Phyllis Diller, which was hilarious when her wig came off. Did you know that was going to happen? Because it didn't look like you knew. That was fantastic.
I was so embarrassed. What happened, Johnny? On the TV show, we had a moment in which we introduced the guests and they would come out in an alcove, right? They'd come out in an alcove. Right. And so it was Phyllis. I said, ladies and gentlemen, Phyllis Diller. And I had a really close friendship with Phyllis. And I used to say, one of these days, I'm not going to hit you to the moon. We're going to date, you and I, baby. And I'd kid her like that. So I run out and I go, instead of just introducing her, I go out and I put her and I bend her over to give her a kiss. And I bend her over. The audience just sees my back. Her body is hidden by my back. And when she comes up, guess what? Caught on my cufflink was her wig.
Oh my God.
And Johnny, it's hilarious.
She was bald. Oh, yeah. Literally. And I go, oh my God. And I say, Phyllis, you can hear me say, Phyllis, I'm so sorry. I promise we'll cut this out. She goes, God bless her and rest her soul.
That laugh.
Yeah, right? This is the funniest we'll ever get. You better not cut it out. And that went viral. What you're saying went viral.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious.
Oh, I can imagine. You probably increased double the listening audience, your viewing audience. That's from that.
Unbelievable.
I kept thinking. I wondered if. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. She let it go.
I didn't know if she knew and was pranking you, but you could tell. I knew you didn't know, but it was absolutely hilarious. And I thought, what a fun lady, because she was like, what the hell, She was awesome.
So funny.
But
'Cause
that was Phyllis. That was very much Phyllis. Phyllis had
so real.
no ego. She had no ego, right?
None.
Gianni, you knew Phyllis. She was just an incredible, everyday person and one of the funniest people that ever hit a stage. And she lived in Brentwood, in that area where I told you I bought the house earlier,
Right, right.
where OJ. She lived in that area,
I knew
and
that area great. That's
yeah,
where Sinatra had the house for the kids.
yeah,
That's where
yeah.
Nancy's house was.
But that the Rat Pack. People always ask me, when you got to Vegas, the Rat Pack was alive and well, and I said, yeah.
Oh,
Said I had the good fortune of becoming friends with those guys, right? Which conjures up another story about Frank. I opened. This was 1970. I'm thinking five. Might be wrong. 75. So four or five. We were hotter than hot. Tony, Orlando, and Dawn. We had the #1 record in the country. We had the #1 TV show in the country. 36 million people every Wednesday night watching that show on CBS. So Frank calls me up the night before I open and says, "Why don't you come over and have dinner with me, kid, at Caesars?" Of course, you don't say no to Frank, right? And I go, and I'm sitting having dinner with Frank Sinatra. And do you remember the comic Corbett Manica?
Of course.
Yeah. So he was at the table and Frank's friends and family. And all of a sudden, Corbett gets up and he whispers into Frank's ear something. And I see Frank, Gianni, go like this. His head just went.
Wow.
And I went, "Are you okay? Okay?" He goes, "Oh, Corbett just told me my mother may have crashed into a mountain in Palm Springs in the jet."
Oh, yeah. Yep, I remember that.
I go, "Oh, God, Frank." And I don't know where I got the nerve to say this. I said, and he allowed me to call him Frank, by the way. I wasn't being disrespectful.
No,
When
I
I
know.
first met him, it was Mr. Sinatra, but then he said, "Call
Oh,
me
but then
Frank."
he asked you. He tells you to.
Yeah, right. So I said, "Frank," I said, "look, we're as hot as can be. I don't think there's anybody on the strip other than you hotter than Tony, Orlando, and Dawn right now. My band is right there. You want them to come over? I'll do the show. Go ahead." He goes, "Tony, look, they came to see Sinatra. They're going to see Sinatra.
Yep.
But this is what I want you to do. I want you to have a glass of Jack Daniels in your hand. And I'm going to go on stage, and once in a while, I'm going to say, I'm ready for a little taste. And I'm going to walk over, and I don't want the people to see you. I just want you to put your arm out for a laugh, and there'll be a hand, and your hand will be holding a Jack Daniels, a glass of a drink.
Right.
Wow.
When I take the drink, I'll look at you, wink at me if you hear anything bad." So
Wow.
imagine this position that I'm in now. All right. I go, "Oh my God." So I'm like, first time he comes over, I'm ready for a little taste. He comes over, I put the thing out. Of course, I didn't have any information, so there was no wink. Second time, no wink. Third time, I knew
Oh,
that they found the plane. And I knew that she'd met her end.
Yep. Yep.
I said to myself, what do I do? Do I wink at him? He's not finished his last song yet. I decided to lie. He comes over. I put the glass out to him. He takes the glass. He looks at me. I actually shake my head like this and put no wink, right? His then comes off stage. He walks over to me and he says, "Hey, Tony, you're the worst son of a bitch and liar I ever seen, but thank you."
oh my gosh.
Wow.
And he gives me one of these on my
Yeah.
cheek, and he walks off, and he goes to Palm Springs.
Yep.
I look back on my life, you guys, and I want to do Gianni's show badly today because he's the only guy I know that has stories like this that people go, "Come on, give me a break. Come on." And I can tell you, as sure as I'm sitting here, in my mother's soul in heaven, everything I said today is true. And I know there are people out there going, come on, Sinatra didn't do that. And they did.
Yep. Yep.
And it's time for me to speak up for Gianni, because I've lived a life like his in a funny way. I was 15, he was 12. I was 12 on a rooftop in New York City, doo-wopping. And here we are together doing a podcast together.
I love it, man. Thank you so much. It's amazing to have you here. Amazing. It's
Thank you.
so the things that we've gone through.
Oh my God, Gianni.
And not even directly, but we did. We would
Yes.
parallel. We would
Yes.
two courses going the same way. It's amazing.
Yeah. You know, and I don't know. I was looking forward to do this show because as I go out as the storyteller now and do this tour that will be coming up, and they're coming at me left, that they really want this show.
Oh yeah.
And I thought, do that. You called. God is so great, Gianni. We wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for the good Lord. Because I'm doing this whole thing, and who calls I haven't seen you in a couple of years. Who calls in the middle of people saying, we want to do your storytelling show? Who calls me out of the blue? I get this phone call. Downey, teeth are shining right through my phone. I can see his teeth coming through the phone. It's Gianni. You want to do my podcast? I hang up the phone. I said, my wife, Franny, can you believe he's calling me now? He's calling me now where I can say, yeah, I believe everything you've told me.
That's
I know, because I say things, people go, get out of here. You didn't do that. Come on. But I did. And I did. And I really did. And what is the reason we tell it? We tell it not just for the joy of being a good storyteller and having people hear it, great stories, but we've been blessed to not only have careers like we have, but to live in the greatest country on the planet Earth, to live in America, to live in this incredible country. It's only 250 years old. That's two grandmothers and a grandmother only 50 years old. 200-year-old grandmothers. You know how young that is? 250 years? Yeah. China is 5,000 years old. Europe is 100,000 years old. We're 250 years old. And look at what we've accomplished in this country.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We are blessed. And I'll tell you right now, not knowing, I mean, I know you will.
To hear the full interview, you'll need to come inside the family. Join the Godfather Guild. Our extended VIP podcast gives you access to exclusive, uncut interviews, the stories they don't tell anywhere else. No third-party ads, no interruptions. Just the full conversation, the way it was meant to be heard. Private access, extended episodes, members-only content. If you want the whole story, you know what to do. Join the Godfather Guild today.